It's Friday, July 12th, and the dogs and I have come over to the Camden East Alvar for our morning walk. It's 8:45 in the morning, sunny, calm, and humid. A beautiful day following a couple gray, rainy days after Hurricane Beryl came through the area. Well, it's a beautiful morning out here on the Alvar. I'm not sure if I mentioned earlier the temperature. It's about 23 degrees and calm and quite humid. It was like 90% humidity when I left home, so we're feeling the humidity. I've only got this long shirt on for the bugs, which I wasn't sure how bad they were going to be here. So far they're not so bad, but I think there'll be other sections where the deer flies will be pretty heavy, so I'm wearing the shirt. Here's some Monarda fistulosa, or wild bergamot in bloom. Always one of my favorite plants. Wherever you get into a drier type of habitat, you'll often find it in bloom, but it's particularly fond of alvars. Similar looking plants that are also in abundant bloom out here on the Alvar today are these spotted knapweeds. And they're a non-native plant, but they just have taken a hold here on the Alvar on the edges of trails and things predominantly, wherever the soils are disturbed more. The rains of the last few days have left some pretty sizable puddles here on site. This isn't a bad thing necessarily. It's good that the dogs can get some frequent water if they need it. I've just worn my boots today, knowing that it would probably be like this here, which makes walking a little harder, but not too bad. Just as a reminder to those who may not have seen my previous videos about alvars, these are areas of shallow soils over limestone bedrock, sometimes only a few inches in depth of soil or even no soil in some areas. And so you get a very characteristic assemblage of plants growing on them, usually a shrubby nature, and often some very interesting species that are adapted to living on alvars. I believe this is oregano growing here. It's a non-native plant, spice plant obviously, and just covered in insects right now. Bees and flies. Here's a fairly unusual find. A cicada has just come out of its larval case. So the brown larval case is hanging just under the leaf, and the new cicada has emerged, and his wings are still unfolding, and he looks very pale and light colored, but before long he'll be all ready to fly off and start his adult life, or her adult life. And I've been hearing a number of cicadas calling already today. As you can see, this trail is quite overgrown. I suspect it doesn't get a lot of traffic, maybe a few ATVs every so often, but possibly not many people walking down here. Being that it's a sunny and warm day, it's really brought out the butterflies. I was hoping for that when I came over here today, hoping the flowers would be numerous, and they are. And the butterflies are out well too, so it's nice to see all the variety. I'll try to capture as many as I can on film or in photos. Well, it's been a beautiful walk here on the Alvar this morning. Just perfect weather, a bit on the humid side, and the bugs and the birds are active, so what more can you ask for, eh? So at 9:45, we've walked just over an hour now, and we've walked 2.9 kilometers over to Camden Road 4, and so we've been walking west on the east-west trail. We're going to go back to the central area where the two trails cross. There's a north-south trail and an east-west trail. We'll go back there and maybe head into the Alvar proper. Okay, 10:25, and we've walked over 5.3 kilometers right now, and we're just going to head into the Alvar protected area and take a look around in there if we can get through it easy enough. Well, it's 11:03, and we've walked 7.5 kilometers in 2 hours and 21 minutes. We're heading down to the east end of the east-west trail. We did go up and walk around in the protected area of the Alvar a little bit, but it's very wet in there, and not the easiest going when you've got 2 dogs under your control. So we've come down to the main trail east-west again and heading down to the east end. The bugs are worse along here, as might be expected, because we've been going through more dense forest and shrubbery. And we're not too far from the east end here in the marsh, so I'll do a little more video when we get down there. So we're down at the Love Road Marsh, and this is 7.75 kilometers we've walked now for our total hike. And we're going to head back from here, probably add another 2 kilometers or 3 kilometers. Okay, we're back to the central trail, the north-south trail, and we're going to head south. We never even walked on the north side of this trail, and we're already at 9.3 kilometers, so that's quite a bit of walking. I thought I'd done all of them once for 8 kilometers, but I guess I didn't do all of them. Okay, so that does the hike. After 3 hours, we've walked about 10 kilometers, and I'm feeling it pretty heavily right now. I've been walking in these fairly thick boots because of the rain and the water and the puddles on the trails. It's a very rough, rocky trail, lots of big rocks in many areas of it. And it's very humid out, so my pants are actually sticking to me, and this shirt is sticking to me. The bugs were a little bad on the one trail going to the marsh, but otherwise they weren't too bad. So I guess I could have done without this, but anyhow, it's been a real nice walk despite those minor inconveniences, and I hope you enjoyed it. Catch you later.